Alright guys, so leave me a comment. Let me know if you ever heard of one of these. 1974 Honda, right, Elsinore, make sure I say that right, MT 250. So the story goes, there was a old motorcycle, I don't know, like shop, but like a backwoods shop. Like dude was doing it behind his house, you know, for years. And it was only like probably not even a mile up the road. Well, all this new construction's coming in here in New Bern. So a lot of the houses that are right in the way of the new, they're building all these like new bypasses and stuff around here. And the city just bought up all the houses that were in the way, of course, like they always do. Well, the gentleman that had the shop, I think he was not sure if he was retiring anyway or if these were just left in there a long time ago. But he was like, hey, come down and just come grab these bikes out of here. So my buddy, short story long, my buddy Jeff, you see him in all my videos, or a lot of them anyway, he's into the dirt bikes. I'm into the cars and the Mopar and all that stuff. He's into the old BMXs, like the 80s BMXs and old vintage dirt bikes, and that's his thing. So I said, you know, it'd be cool, right? I said, hey, let me see if I can get running and driving, because that's what I enjoy doing anyway. That's the story on it. 74 Honda, 2-stroke, and we're gonna do our best to see if we can make it happen. All right, so a little bit of walk around. This is basically how the bike was pulled out of the building up the street. I'm leaving the barn dust on it and everything. I'm not even gonna wash it, because you know, something like this, it takes a lot of time if you want to do everything right and like take everything apart, you know, and get all the handlebars all, you know, back to SOS, all this stuff. I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna do running and driving. Here's what we got left. I got left this cooler right here full of a lot of the parts for the bike, like the heads right there, the magnetos down in here, so the head bolts, and a lot of other miscellaneous stuff. But that's basically what I got left with, was a cooler full of parts. There's the exhaust, and a bike with a piston sticking out of it, and everything's just a complete basket case. But one thing that I did notice here, and what my buddy Jeff did notice, is the piston is cracked right on the bottom. So you got the piston all the way down on this side, looks real nice, if you can see that. And then if you turn the piston here, you can see it's real mangled, meaning the sleeve got busted on it, or whatever this part of the piston's called down at the bottom. But what I'm thinking about doing, it's 75 bucks for a new piston. I'm thinking about just getting a piston, new rings for it. And, you know, if we could get it running, that's awesome. If we can't, we're just gonna take a $75 loss. Another thing that's rough on this, and I'm gonna have to go get vinegar. What I usually do with these old tanks is I put vinegar in them, and I let them soak for about 3 or 4 days, and that'll take out a lot of the rust. But this thing's rough, guys. I mean, it's super rough. You can see that. So I'll soak it all up with vinegar, rinse it out about 1,000 times, and hopefully it don't eat through. Sometimes that vinegar will eat through the bottom of tanks if it's real thin. This one doesn't look bad. I can smell it from here. It smells real good and nice and varnished up. And we'll see what we can do with that. But this is her in all of her glory. Elsinore 250. This is going to be a fun challenge. I enjoy doing this stuff every once in a while, because it breaks up the monotony of always doing the car thing. Which you guys know I love doing the car thing. But I love doing choppers as well. And this is as close as we're going to get right now. So vintage dirt bike, I'm all about it.
Faster than the speed of light, we stretch time. Snare drum pad.
So she's pretty clean right now. I think it's good enough to work on anyway. I don't really want to take the pressure washer and all that stuff right now. As long as the engine, the part where I need to put back together is clean, I'm feeling pretty confident with that. I think I'll spin the motor over, which I already did that a while ago. No, I should probably say I did that a couple days ago just to double check. But she was free. I just got to be careful with that piston so that piston isn't banging all over. It don't matter at this point because we're going to try to get a new piston anyway. But you know, you don't want to start, you know, dinging up the rod and all that stuff. So very carefully, I'll move it around, see if everything's working or looks normal. And then another thing I'm gonna have to do is hone this cylinder. We are lucky enough to have the cylinder, which is not bad actually, but it does need a little honing. It's got a little surface rust in there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up to Advanced Auto and just go get one of those little mini honers and shoot this thing with WD-40, and we'll just hone it out a little bit and make it, you know, as good as we could get it. Carburetor was pretty much dangling in the wind. We're not even close to this step yet, so I'm kind of just gonna let this just hang by itself over here and just get it out of the way. And I started writing down some of the things that I think we're gonna need, and I've ordered the gasket kit just to put some of these gaskets back on the cases. And head gasket, we need a lower jug gasket. And then from there we can just kind of piece it back together. I mean, right now I haven't got online yet to look at like a schematic of how everything goes. I'm just kind of going what I think works. And so far nothing's really baffling me. I am missing the screws to this side cover, which I'll probably have to go up to like Ace Hardware or something and go grab some. But as of right now, everything looks pretty self-explanatory. I noticed the rod wasn't moving. So the piston it was binding up. So I think, I keep saying I think, I felt like I had it nice. I'm gonna try to be real careful here, guys. Let me think here. There she goes. All right, that's what I was looking for. So the piston was stuck. It wasn't this piston, it was the rod was stuck. And now she seems to do okay. There she goes. I see little chunks of piston in here. What I think I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go up to the store, I'm gonna pull the tank, and we'll get some vinegar and we'll start soaking these tanks down. Pull the petcock out of it, give it a look-see, try to clean it all out. We could kind of, as we're waiting for gaskets and stuff, we could kind of just work our way around. So we could probably hone out the cylinder. We could do the tank. I could look at the carb. The carb doesn't look that bad, but I'll pull the float bowl off. Just give it a real quick look-see. I know this thing's got a battery in it. I'm gonna pull that battery out, and I'll probably end up having to get a new battery for it. That's fine. All right, so I feel pretty confident about the jug, the head. Got that all cleaned up. We honed the cylinder. I feel pretty good with that. Nothing crazy on that one. Now we did have to order a new piston because, like I said, it was all busted up. That kind of hurt though. That was I think 160 bucks with the rings, with the new wrist pin and all that stuff. So that's the kind of stuff that will break the bank when you try to start doing these old bikes, things like that. You just got to take in consideration. Usually an old bike, when I do an old bike or a chop or whatever, it's always about $500–600 to get them running and driving again. A car, you know, those can always get up, mostly up in the $800 to $1,000 just for little things here and there. But anyway, what we're gonna do now is, and that's no problem, because we're still gonna have a good time, and you know, you take the challenge and trying to get this stuff running again. Firing it back up, seeing what it can do back in its glory. That's what we enjoy doing around here, poor boys. All right, so we aired up the back one. We got a valve stem leak. Could just be loose, could be bad. I don't know. Sometimes you can loosen these and they will grab these little valves. Sometimes. Like it's real slow now. I think it'll be good enough to ride if we could get it running. All right, on with the next thing. What we're gonna do next, and I feel like pretty good with everything else. We got the piston off. We got it ordered. There's nothing really too complicated with that, hopefully. Next thing I want to do is stick this magneto back on. Now these are, then we can see if our points are opening and closing. So we just sanded everything. I re-sanded the points again with some sand, a little bit of emery cloth, and I feel comfortable with it. They didn't look too pitted. So now I'm just gonna slide this back on here. Only thing you gotta be careful with this is there's a little moon key, they call it, right in here. And it kind of wants to move around a little bit. So just when you slide these back on, you just kind of gotta just be aware. And there's a slot, so you wanna line it up. And hopefully, it will do what I want it to do here. Yeah, it keeps on moving. I'm wondering if it'll just... There. Felt pretty good with that. Okay, remember at the beginning of the video I told you the piston was broken, like the skirt down towards the bottom. Well, as I'm turning the magneto around, I'm starting to like hear crunching and stuff, and I'm just able to see in between the crank, and I see pieces of that piston skirt down there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to try to dig it out. It's like about, let's see, probably about 4 good little chunks in there. And I wish if it wasn't aluminum, I could get it with the little magnet, no problem, but it's cast aluminum. So I'm gonna try to dig it out the best I can, see if we can't get those out, and then I'll show you the outcome. All right, remember when you were a kid and you were playing that game Operation? That's what I felt like, digging in between the crank, trying to get some pieces of skirting, piston skirting, out of the bottom of this motor, or this engine. So anyway, check it out. This one here, you can see it's been in there for a minute because this is getting it was getting beaten pretty flat. And then this one here, and I was wondering why the engine kept stopping. And I couldn't really quite figure it out. It'd crank over real easy and all of a sudden it'd like bind up, like when we first started. So that was the problem. It wasn't like it was rusted in between the crank and the rod. You know, I was thinking that was a little bit binding up. It was these pieces of steel, or pieces of aluminum from the piston. So anyway, done there. Feel pretty good, got the chunks out. Whatever's left in there, it's gonna ride. Let it eat itself up, who cares? No, I'm just kidding. I think we got it all out. Hey, what's up everybody? So, let's see, last we left off a couple days ago, I think what I did is I ended up cleaning the tank. We cleaned the tank, all right, inside. Came out pretty good. Just soaked it, blew it out with a lot of air, soaked it some more. It was nasty. But I ended up using this stuff right here, which my buddy up at Advanced Auto, Brian, swore by it. It's the Evapo-Rust. Leave me a comment, let me know if you guys ever used it. But I dumped a whole gallon into the tank, swished it around. I left it in there for at least 3 days, I want to say. And at first I wasn't really too keen on it. I'm like, well, I'm looking down there, I'm like, I don't feel like it's really doing much. Swished it around, put it down for another day, come back, looked at it, I'm like, man. But after I dumped it out, and then I took the water hose and just left it in there, you know, swishing around all that crap and old gas and rust and everything else. It actually came out okay. You know, I gave it like I don't know, I give it like a B plus maybe.
Sweet redemption, I would never let you down. Will it ever get sunny? Oh, I wonder, honey, baby, how you make me sway. You say it will. I'm calling your addictive brand. You say it will, yeah. I'm causing the obsessive mind. You say it will. I'm calling your addictive brand.
While Jaden's wire wheeling those spark plugs, we got spark. I'm just gonna go ahead and put everything back. I wanna put the air cleaner back, the box with the tools back, and we'll put the plugs in it. I'm just gonna take a look at the carburetor, the inside, make sure it looks good. And other than that, we should be pretty much golden. The only thing I have not figured out yet is this headlight problem. The headlight works, but there's a short somewhere, so I may just put the headlight back in for now, try to fire it up, and we'll work on the headlight next time. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is just open up this carburetor and just give it a little look-see. I just wanna look at the flow bowl and see if it's not full of varnish. Hopefully it's not. We just put it all back together, make sure everything looks good, and we'll keep on rolling. Without messing up the gasket, come on, please be clean in here. I don't wanna deal with all this drama. Oh, it's bad. Oh, it's bad, it's bad. Completely gummed up. Exactly what we don't want it to be. Well, we're gonna start spraying this out and see if we can't get some gas flowing through here. This is gonna be fun. Well guys, we were close on this. 1 step forward, 10 steps back. The carburetor absolutely was junk. When I pulled the bowl off the bottom, there's a jet that was just broken off, like the brass was just busted in half. And I was like, well, no problem, I'll just get like one of those carburetor kits for this, thinking that they're a dime a dozen. Nope, of course not. You have to buy a carburetor, because I couldn't find a kit for this. And it was so varnished up and sticky that when I'm trying to knock the float pin out to get the float out, I ended up breaking some of the carburetor, because that's how bad it was. So what I ended up doing is just you could buy carbs for these bikes, but of course they're like, you know, old carbs that people redid, and you got to pay to play too, $200. So had no choice. We're in it so deep now, it's like no turning back now, my famous motto. So we ended up getting the carb for it. That should come probably this week sometime. And that sucks. That's our only hang up. I was hoping to start this thing today. No worries. We'll get the tank on, we'll get the side cover on, and we'll clean up a little bit around here and just keep on pushing. That's all we could do. It's only money, right?
Always I remember your bad dress and how you turned my mind completely into such a mess so easily. And it really came as no surprise. You looked beyond comparing every time that I came close to making a move. I froze. I always do that, and I know it. If I could only be some kind of poet, if I could have my way with words, if only for a day, I would tell you what I feel so you know it.
So we got the carburetor, finally came from, well, I got it on eBay. Hurt the bank, 200, I think it was 220, I don't remember. But it was one of them things, I had no choice. I was kind of between a rock and a hard place. So we are gonna install this thing, and hopefully it's plug and play, and see if we can't fire this thing up. Hopefully it'll hang, won't fall. Oh, we got good juice now, don't we? All right. I don't feel like it's getting gas. Wait, I smell gas. I think. Give it a little love potion. Giving her the love potion. Let's run wide open. Well, she's getting everything she needs almost. All right, try again. Ow. It's running wide open. All right. I think we're good now, dude. Don't run wide open. Don't run wide open. Oh, yeah. Pop right back on me. Headlight came on too. battery. Well, we know she runs. I just gotta keep this battery charged up a little bit longer. All right, let's ride this bad boy. If she starts. We have no clutch.
Hey, what's up guys? Honda Elsinore MT 250, or is it 250 MT? I don't know. I don't care. It's a two-stroke. You gotta love a vintage two-stroke dirt bike. At least we do anyway. Change it up a little bit. I love doing cars, love doing choppers, but every once in a while you gotta do something a little bit different. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Did we do good? I'll tell you what, these things are harder to find than Mopar in the woods. And you guys know I find a lot of Mopar in the woods. But anyway, this one here will be for sale. I think Jeff said he don't mind selling it. We got plenty of irons on the fire. So if you guys are interested, email me, bradleyswrenching@gmail.com, or leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I think we'll put it up on Marketplace, New Bern, North Carolina Marketplace, if you really got to have it. She needs a little bit of love. You know, she's definitely not 100%, but it's still a great piece. And just to get her back running and ripping, that's what we love to do. But anyway, my name's Brad, Poor Boy's Garage. Let them rip, not rot. Keep on saving them. Don't send them to the crusher. We hate that. Until next time, guys, we're out.